The purpose of this video is very simple. We're just going to sweep around and look as much as we can at just the scene. The scene is just so shocking to see. I mean, look here. The door's been blasted open. That's something I didn't notice before because of the force of the blast. So this is a building that they're not allowed back to. It looks perfectly still up, doesn't it? Just like that one over there with the board on the window. It says, dangerous building, keep well clear. But they're not allowed to return to this because it's considered that maybe part of it could collapse. I mean, you can see that window's blown in. Interesting, some of the effects of the shockwave is that a light is blown from a street light, so no wonder you're going to see local effects like that when people felt their house shake 7 miles away in Neston and Heswell. So now you can see that with the cordon going right up to Boundary Road, and this being an exclusion zone for the foreseeable, you can just see the full devastation from here. This is Bebington Road. You can get quite close to this end. Griffith's Butchers. Everybody had to evacuate out of the flats above these shops here. This one particularly has been part of the blast. I mean, just particularly here, completely caved in. Some shutters sometimes protecting contents in some cases, only meant to protect against teenage vandalism and the like, or not a huge gas blast such as this. The collapsed building itself, which is obviously blown up more on this side, the Boundary Road side, than the bit where the roof is still standing. The roof now sloped at a 45-degree angle. Most windows not having glass, bent, corrupt frames. We know that it used to house a dance studio, 3 businesses in total in 2017. It was formerly a Mundane Connections career advice centre as well, up to 2009. As we check on Google Street View's history, that now goes back to around the end of the noughties, so we can check on things like this, e.g. the collapsed building in Anfield that fell into the street near Breck Road. You can have a look what the state of its decay was. So Google Street View in its history now takes on an eerie sort of depth because of that. You can see here is also that a woman here who lived here escaped with her grandchildren and survived because the bed seemed to be took up by the blast and shielded them. You can see just it's taken the full force of the blast there. There's damage to the roofs. We're seeing that in a wide radius around. That window pulled open is obviously too bent to close. This van here, completely caved in on the front, so it's just like, it's something you're used to seeing in places like Mosul and Aleppo, not New Ferry and Bebington, Port Sunlight. And this car, you know, this was damaged as well. It's a car park here at the side of this building, the devastated building. It was a car park. You can see that from the aerial view. So any cars that were left there have become write-offs. And it's just a load of dust and rubble. It's just, you know. And this is in the Wirral, probably one of the worst things that ever happened in the Wirral in modern history. And it's right at the edge, this New Ferry town centre here, it's right at the edge of the Port Sunlight listed area, the historic area. You can see over there, if you just, you know, these houses, they're just presumably also, I don't know who's in these now or whether this is also an exclusion zone at the moment. Some of the windows, you see boards in a few of the windows. And it seems relatively normal if you go into Port Sunlight there. People just had their front doors open. And then other things that are bad as well is just having to, you know, leave your house and you don't know what's happened with possessions, you don't know how long it's going to be, you don't know what's going to happen with insurance, wouldn't be rehoused, but also someone's cat went missing as well, which is very sad, and I hope that cat returns. It has gone somewhere, because it's just the chaos that is caused by something like this. And what it is this, it's very likely to be gas, even though some people are theorising maybe it's not, because they haven't 100% confirmed it. But at the moment, with all our modern technology, with all our advancements, they don't even have a way of actually working out whether a gas explosion is likely to take place. They're rare events, but they don't have a way of knowing for sure whether a blast may happen. And we're working with gas, so it makes electricity seem a lot safer, but but this is the power that it potentially has. Something as mundane as something that used to put your cooker on or the boiler costs a fortune, which might lower the risk of explosion with the fact that most of us can't afford to use much gas, and therefore that might mean a few less of these. But that is the power, potentially unconfirmed, of gas, just gas. Something which, if they didn't add the smell to it that they have when you smell gas, that's added artificially. It doesn't have that smell. It's done just so we can identify that it's escaping, that's all. It would be odourless, but it would give no warning whatsoever. In its natural state it would. So that's the awesome power of it, it really is. I don't know, I don't really think I couldn't say enough about it. When you see this, how it affects you when you see it. It really looks like something, like a terrorist bomb. It's the same scale of devastation from something as mundane as gas. And that's what we leave it now. If we come back here again to New Ferry in the middle of summer or the autumn, how different will it look? How will it have changed? Will all these buildings get pulled to the ground? Will it all start again? What's interesting is that this area did suffer significant blitz damage in World War II. And as a result, some of this New Ferry here is actually newer, in the sense that it was put in after the war, in the 1950s. And now it looks like we've seen a similar seismic event to happen in 2017. It's also going to cause the scale of rebuilding that you've seen in many places after World War II. New Ferry is never going to look like this when you come back in the 2020s, or it's going to look completely different. There's going to be brand new buildings. It's going to be re-envisioned by what's happened. And that's how we leave the scene now on the Tuesday following the blast on Saturday night, which was at least timed so that no one was in the building. We've seen Granada Reports and BBC Northwest tonight descend. It's such a significant story that Granada Reports spent their entire Monday bulletin stood here where I am. And it made the national news. Michael Ferry, New Ferry 107 News.